You're feeling overwhelmed as a Christian woman wanting to start a YouTube channel. I get it. 10 weeks ago, I felt exactly the same. In today's video, I'll share tips to get started, as well as the mistakes that I've made along the way, and how you can avoid them, as well as faith-based tips to begin your journey with confidence. So let's do this together. My first tip is to cultivate a confident, faith-based mindset. At the beginning of my journey, I started watching YouTubers that were speaking about their own YouTube journey. Now, one of the things that I really took from that was keeping a long-term mindset. It's really a marathon, it's not a sprint. And what I've done is that I recognize that it would take 1, 2, or even 3 years to really start to see traction with this channel. I'm really passionate about what I share on this channel and helping Christian women discover joy and gratitude in their life, in their walk with God. And seeing this as a long-term thing has really helped me to relax. So being realistic is really important. You can spend a lot of time putting in the work, releasing a video. You don't see a lot of results in the beginning for the work that you've put in. And that's okay. So I spend time planning, filming, and editing my videos. And as soon as I press upload, I'm actually on to the next video. So rather than dwelling on the video that I've just created, I am already planning my next video. And that has really helped keep the momentum going in these last 10 weeks. Of course, I look at analytics, and if you are yet to upload your first video, analytics is how you track your video and your channel's progress. While I am focusing on my next video, as soon as I've uploaded one, I've actually started batch planning my videos. So today I wrote out a whole lot of ideas for the videos that I want to produce in the future, and I've started writing out the titles for those. Each video I focus on the title, the thumbnail, so the text that I'll include in the thumbnail, as well as which image I'll choose, and I'll start to formulate a description for the video. So currently at the moment I have 10 or 12 video ideas with titles, and I've started to write dot points for each video. So when I plan a video, I think about the topic, the thumbnail, the description, but also I'll write out dot points. So what am I going to speak about throughout the video? So also with regards to cultivating a positive mindset on this journey, I try not to overthink it. So currently on my YouTube channel, there are 11 videos, including this one. And each time I learn something new. In fact, many videos I learn quite a few new things. And some of those lessons I'll share in this video today. So try not to overthink it. And while creating valuable content for your viewers is really important, don't expect your videos to be perfect for a few reasons. One, because they won't be. And secondly, because this side of the kingdom, we will never reach perfection. And so putting perfection aside and simply trying to do the best that we can to honor God with the work that we're doing, and also to provide value for our viewers, I have found that has really helped me a lot. The other thing that I do is that I love to celebrate small wins. Currently on this channel, I have 20 subscribers, and I'm honestly so thankful for every one of them. I know it's a really small number, and I know that there are channels out there with many millions of subscribers, but I try not to compare myself to them. They've been in the game for way longer than I have, and I've really only just begun. And so celebrating each small win for me has been really beautiful. So in my phone, I have a section in my notes app where I've written out all of my mini goals. So they have included getting 5 subscribers, getting 10 subscribers, getting 20 subscribers, and then all the way up to 1,000. And beyond that, I mean, that would be incredible. But starting small and celebrating those wins has been really impactful for me. And I definitely recommend doing something similar. I also celebrate how many watch hours I have and any comments that I receive, and I'm thankful for every one of those. This is something new for me, as I'm sure it's new for you because you clicked on this video. And so trying not to compare ourselves to people who have been in this game for a long time is really important. Celebrate where you are now and definitely take that first step. and I encourage you to celebrate each small win, no matter how small it is. You can keep that to yourself. You don't need to share that with other people. If you feel encouraged by just simply ticking that off, then that's great. That's all that you need. I do have another small tip that I'll include here, is to read the book Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. I have found that book so invaluable in my life for so many reasons. But the thing that I really appreciate about it is the importance of seeing your failures as a stepping stone towards your goals. That's been huge for me. So I really struggled with failure, and it became something that really would stop me from pursuing different dreams that I had. I guess it's part of my perfectionist personality, but definitely reading that book has helped me so much. Also, I encourage you to follow other YouTubers that can support you on your journey. So two that I really love are the channels Elevate with Tate. She's absolutely beautiful and she has some really great content. And the other one is Gabe Bolt. I actually started following Gabe quite a number of years ago for his slow living videos, but he also creates videos to encourage new YouTubers, and his content is really good. So certainly subscribing to some different channels that you can follow is really great when you're just starting out. And finally, remember to do this, recognizing that this is something that the Lord God has led me to do, and keeping that at the forefront of my mind has been really important in these last 10 weeks. I believe that He's led me to share my story and to encourage women to live joyful lives filled with gratitude. And that's why I create these videos. And remembering to put Him first and not worrying about what other people might think has been really helpful for me. Of course, I want my viewers to really enjoy the content that I create, but there may be negative comments in the future that people leave in the comment section, and I have to be okay with that. I have to remember the reasons that I'm doing this. And so putting Him first has been really helpful on this journey, which leads me into my second tip. My second tip is to know your why. So why do you want to create a YouTube channel? Or why have you just started one? What do you want to share with others? What do you want to educate them on? And who is your ideal viewer? I've spent quite a bit of time working on these. I definitely recommend that you set aside some time to really work out who your ideal viewer is. So for me, I've even given my viewer a name, and her name is Sarah. And Sarah is a woman similar to the woman that I used to be, a woman that struggled to discover joy in the life that she'd been given, and who wants to discover joy and who wants to live with gratitude for every day. She's a woman who loves God, and so all of my content is designed for Sarah, because I know when I was younger and I really struggled with depression and anxiety. Now, if that's something that you struggle with, again, I really encourage you to seek out a counsellor or other health professional who can support you on that journey. But Sarah is like the woman that I was, my younger self. And so I really want to create content that will encourage and inspire her. So really narrowing down on who your ideal is really important, because it helps you to create content that she will want to view. But why do I want to create these videos? I want to be able to encourage Sarah. I want to be able to encourage women like her to live lives that overflow with joy and gratitude, and help them to discover the beauty in the life that God has given them. I also want to encourage them in their walk with God, to encourage them to pray and read scripture and to seek first God's kingdom. Also, living with chronic pain, because that's my story. I have lived with infertility and endometriosis. I also have adenomyosis, and I have lived with chronic pain for many years. This is a way that I believe I can encourage those women from home, which for me has been really important. So what's your why? Why do you want to create your content? Why do you want to create videos for your ideal viewer? So if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to sit down and spend time in prayer, really seeking God and what He desires for your channel and how you can best serve Him in this space. Third tip is all about being prepared. So before you press record, what do you need to do? Now, a lot of these things are things that I actually had to learn myself through trial and error. And one of them is a lesson that I learned from my last video. So in my last video, I had my hair like this, and I'll show you. I have long hair, it's really long. And I don't know if you can tell, I'll try to do it. I don't know if you can tell, but it really muffles the sound on my microphone. And so if you have long hair, I encourage you to not make the same mistake that I did and put your hair back so that you can have clean, crisp sound. That's something I never heard anyone talk about. I had to actually make that mistake to learn that, yeah, my hair needs to be behind my shoulder or at least not over the top of the microphone. Another thing that I learned that I never heard anyone speak about is the importance of making sure all of your equipment is prepared. And by prepared, I mean fully charged and ensuring that the device that you're recording on has plenty of battery, as well as memory. I have recorded a few videos where either my phone, because I record on an iPhone, which is part of my next tip, but I have recorded videos where either my phone turned off because it wasn't fully charged, which seems so silly, but it is really easy to do by not paying attention. And the other thing is ensuring that you have enough memory on your device. So whether that's an SD card in your camera or your phone memory, whatever it is, checking that before you press record. Because the last thing you want is to speak into the camera for who knows how long and then get to the end of your recording and realize that, yeah, you didn't actually record it. So that's happened to me, I think, once or twice, I'm not sure. But anyway, I've never heard anyone mention that, but I definitely recommend being certain you have enough memory and that your device is fully charged. The other thing that I want to encourage you with is to make sure that everything you're using is working properly, that your microphone is charged, that it's syncing properly to the receiver, that you have good lighting, and that everything is set up to make recording your video as easy as possible. And also the other important thing is to really set up your framing. So framing the shot. Before I started filming today, I set up my tripod with my iPhone attached and had the camera facing this chair, and then I pressed record. I came around and sat down and moved my hands and spoke a little bit, and then went back to my phone and pressed stop. I then watched what I had recorded, and I had to adjust it a few times because there was one time that it cut off half my forehead and there was another time where I had this much space above my head. And so making sure that that's all set up before you start is really important, which brings me to another lesson. When I first started recording my videos, I actually had my iPhone switched around the other way so that I could see the screen. The problem with that is that the camera on the front of your phone is not as good as the camera on the back of your phone. And so you're actually going to have a lower resolution video. And so setting up the frame correctly before you begin is really important. My fourth tip is the importance of keeping it simple. So as this is a new channel, I've decided that I really wanted to just start with the basics. I actually did buy an iPhone for this because I had an Android and the video quality wasn't that great. So I just use this iPhone that I have. It's actually secondhand. I use an iPhone 14 Plus, and for me, the visual quality has been good enough. I use a $20 tripod. My husband bought this tripod from the local op shop. It's actually a really good quality tripod, and I'll add some photos in here for you now so you can see. Either using a tripod that you have or buying something, but certainly having a decent quality tripod is really important. I just use I can't pronounce this word, but it's a lavalier microphone. It might be pronounced completely differently, I actually have no idea. But anyway, the microphone that I use is just really simple. I think it costs around $10. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them on eBay. There's lots of websites where you can pick up a really simple microphone like this one, and natural light. So I usually film outdoors, but I've also started filming next to my bedroom window because I really love natural light. I haven't invested a lot in this channel yet, I may do later on once the channel's monetized and I'm earning an income from this channel. But until then, I'm just using really simple tools to get the job done. The other things that you'll need, if you haven't already set up your channel, is you'll need a Google account. So setting up a separate email address that you can attach to that account is really important. And that just helps to keep your personal life separate from your YouTube account. So that's filming. What can you use for editing? I actually edit on my iPad. I did buy an iPad to make it easier because previously I've edited my phone and that's not ideal. I've also tried editing on my laptop, but I just find it too complicated. And so editing with my iPad is so much easier. There are 2 programs that I've used. I've used iMovie, which is available on all Apple products. But more recently, I've moved over to using CapCut because I find the interface really simple. I find it very similar to iMovie in the way that it works, but I find it less glitchy. The other thing that I really like about CapCut is that it just makes editing more simple. There's a feature in CapCut which I didn't know about until I started editing videos myself, and it allows you to edit using a transcript. So once you create your project and you've uploaded your video, if you press transcribe, it will transcribe your whole video, and then you can edit by deleting text, which is a game changer. It saved me so much time. And I haven't heard anyone talking about this, but I definitely recommend it. It highlights where you've paused for a long time and your ums and your ahs and where you've repeated words, and you can simply delete those via the text. So no more having to scroll through your video and going back and going forward and trying to delete your mistakes. You can actually do that first up through the transcript, which has been wonderful. And I believe that's actually part of the free version. I did upgrade to the Pro version. I find that it has extra features that I personally want, but from what I can see, there's plenty in the free version to get started. And finally, my 5th tip is to plan out your structure. So that includes a number of things. So firstly, writing out your ideas and coming up with titles for each of those. Your titles are really important because it helps the algorithm work out what your video is all about and send it out to the right people. And then think about your tags. So tags are like keywords that also signal to the algorithm what your video is all about so that it can find the right viewers. I have a few keywords that I use for most of my videos. They're usually Christian slow living, and then keywords around gratitude and Christian women and biblical living and things like that, because that's the audience that I want to target. So also, coming up with a compelling hook is really important. The hook is the intro to your video, the first 10, 15, 20 seconds. And something that Gabe Bolt actually mentioned in one of the videos that I watched of his was that your hook is to encourage curiosity in your viewer. I'm not perfect at this, and it's something that I'm still learning to do, but working on your hooks is really important. Actually, if I go back to the first videos that I was creating, I didn't even have a hook. I just launched straight into my video. I didn't have much structure. So really learning to create structure within my videos has helped a lot. Again, with structure, having chapters has been really important. So the chapters that I use are typically based on the tips that I provide throughout my videos. So in this video, I've said tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, etc. And that provides structure. So I have a hook, which is my introduction, and then I have the chapters, which are my tips, which is the information that I want to share with my viewer, and the ways in which I'd like to encourage them. The other thing that I do with my videos is that at the very beginning, before I've shared any of my tips, and before the hook, by pretending that I'm speaking to my best friend. I say her name, I say, hey, how are you? And then I edit that out. What that does is it kind of tricks your brain and helps you to feel as if you're speaking to a friend. You're not speaking to a camera, but you're speaking to the individual who's watching the video. And throughout the last 10 weeks, this has really helped my videos to come across as being more natural and less robotic. And each time it becomes easier. And now, of course, I edit that part out, but that just really helps to set the tone for the video that I'm creating. And then at the end of the video, I invite the viewer to like the video, to subscribe, and to leave a comment based on the specific video that I've just created. Now, I really love creating these videos. It's been such a blessing to me. There's a lot to overcome, but certainly celebrating those small wins, understanding my why, being prepared before I press record, keeping it simple, and planning out my video structure for each video has made such a difference. And I hope that the tips that I've shared today will help you in your own YouTube journey. So that's the other thing that I'm learning to do. And I think this is the first video that I've actually done, is to summarize the video and each step that I've used. And finally, at the end of your video, there's a call to action, which might look different for you, for me going forward. So in the future, I'd really love to create a newsletter as another way of encouraging the women who watch my channel. And I'm still learning about that. And before you finish your video, it's always a good idea to ask your viewer to like your video, to ask them to subscribe if they've gotten value out of your content, and to pin a comment below asking a question related to the video that you've created. So a comment that I could add below this video would be, which of these 5 tips did you find really helpful today? I also thank the viewers for watching. I'm honestly so grateful for everybody who watches these videos. So there are other things as well that are really important. It's really important in your description to write music credits. I had a video that was flagged, not because I'd broken copyright laws. I hadn't used anyone's music without their permission, but I hadn't attributed the creator. And so making sure that I do that with each of my videos is something that I ensure that I do. So I now make sure that I always do that. I'm really grateful to artists who have provided their music for free. So thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. It means so much to me. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. If you would like to discover joy and gratitude in your own life and how you can walk closer with God, I would love if you would subscribe. Please like this video. And which of these tips have you found really helpful today? I hope you've gotten a lot of value out of it. Thank you again so much for watching, and God bless. The other thing that I've learned is the importance of smiling when you're speaking, because it just makes you look so much more friendly. I actually normally smile when I talk, and it does come across on camera. And I'm also learning the importance of adding overlays to my videos so that you're not just looking at my face the whole time. Oh, and your structure for your video, I encourage you to write it down and have your notes with you. I have this beautiful big notebook and I use it all the time. Yeah. I could definitely write it on my phone, but the problem is if I have my notes on my phone, that's actually how I film, so I won't have it in front of me. So these notes are really helpful. Also, when you upload your video, and this is the first time I'm going to do this, it's recommended to actually, rather than choosing when you publish, choose private and schedule your video at least 24 hours in advance. Because what it's meant to do is it's meant to give the algorithm plenty of time to work out what your video is all about so that it can share your video with the right audience. I'm actually going to try this for the first time with this video today, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I may create another video actually, because there's so much I could share, but I want to try to keep this video as short as possible. If you would like another video talking about starting your own YouTube channel, please let me know in the comments section below. Bye.